Hey, what's up? This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals for a little update here today on Thanksgiving. Not really a precious metal update, it's just a topic I've been wanting to discuss for a little while about cryptocurrencies versus gold and silver. Good timing to talk about it, especially since I do have a little time and I did a little bit of research, looked around, and I want to discuss that today. Meanwhile, I will give you a little precious metals report because even though the markets are closed in New York, as you can see at 1805, world markets today are up. Remember, the world doesn't revolve around the United States and New York COMEX prices. The world is still open and they're still doing business, and it looks like around the world, out of the United States, gold is up $5, and silver seems to be tracking about the same, and platinum holding on to that 950 plus level. Wow. Again, pretty amazing. But again, this is not a precious metals report. This was my report on cryptos versus gold and silver, which seems to be a really, I don't know why it's a big argument, because really the fact is it's really just apples and oranges, the two. They're not even, they're not even similar. I mean, I guess they're trying to say that cryptos is money, but cryptos are not money. Gold is money. Crypto is a wonderful fiat exchange of money. That's my opinion, and I'm going to go into why I think this real quickly here. And again, you got any questions, or you think I'm wrong, or whatever, please make some comments below. Let's have a civil discussion about it. I'm willing to learn more, especially if I am wrong. Anyway, let's talk about this Bitcoin versus gold argument. And remember, I am a precious metal dealer, so I know gold very well. But I'm not going to take a shit on Bitcoin like a lot of gold people may do. And I know a lot of Bitcoin people take a shit on gold. There's this fight, and I don't know why, because again, as I've said for a while, it's apples and oranges here, folks. Two totally different things. You can't confuse the two. But meanwhile, this just happened yesterday, this week. I guess crypto crashes overnight as whales move into exchanges. And this is kind of a good starting point. One of my arguments that I have about Bitcoin. It's so new. I mean, it's what, a decade old, or not even a decade. Yeah, maybe a decade old, or a little bit longer than that in reality. And let's first talk about the whales. What whales are? In financial market, whales are people that have a large amount of money that come in and buy large groups of things. And I know for a little while that the crypto communities were like saying, "Hooray, hooray! The whales are here." Some of them were. The ones that aren't too savvy on what whales can really do, and what whales really do, they're out for their own benefit. They're in there to take big positions, make big profits, and they will crush the little guys as they go. And who are the little guys? Well, I don't know. Can you invest a couple million, or you're not even a big guy in crypto with a couple million? Can you invest multi-millions into Bitcoin? Then you can be considered a whale. If you're not, you're one of the little guys. And the little guys, they like to step on. And that's exactly what happened here. Look at this. Bitcoin prices collapsed by over $3,000 overnight. That is just incredible. Look at that graph right there. But again, a great point about cryptocurrencies is that they're even a smaller marketplace than gold and silver, even smaller. Much easier to manipulate, especially when you have really virtually no regulation in these markets, or very little regulation. These whales that would typically be regulated to some degree, and you know how they manipulate gold markets and all the other markets, they still get away with it. But cryptos are, man, that's like the wild, wild west for whales. It's like the wild, wild west for manipulators. They got to love this, and they're going to crush all the little guys. And they're already doing it. They've done it a few times. Anyway. The idea that the whales were going to come into cryptos and make everything better was a big lie. They don't. They're in there for themselves, and they will crush all the small guys. And let's move along to, what are crypto whales and how they affect the market. And this is actually a crypto website. And in simple terms, they explain it. Whales are people of a group, or whales are people of group of people working together to hold a huge share of a single coin. These are usually large players, hedge funds, and Bitcoin investment funds. Well, it's not just them too. There's a lot of people out there on in the dark that do these kind of manipulations, and that's how they make their money. And they're not very well respected, but that's how they make their money. They're in there too. It's not just hedge funds and large corporate above board, supposedly above board companies. Anyway, whoever's involved in cryptocurrency trading for some time must have heard the term whale. And they talk about this. The smaller the volume of a coin, the easier for the whale to manipulate it. Well, anyway, this is exactly what I just talking about. Take a look at this article. Again, it's written by a someone that's into crypto coins, and they know far more about crypto than I do. Torsten Hartmann. What are crypto whales? How they affect coin market? Read that article. I think you'll find it very interesting, and he just confirms what I was just talking about. The other issue you got with Bitcoin is places where you store them. Mount Gox. That is just like, man, that is not a proud moment for cryptocurrencies, and I'm sure a lot of people would just like that to go away and not think about it. But the truth of the money is, truth of the money, it is money. The truth of the money. The truth of the money is they stole it. Someone stole it. It disappeared out of thin air. I'm not quite sure what the details are on it, but I know a lot of people lost their cryptocurrency through theft, which is another issue with cryptocurrencies. However, you have the same issues with gold and silver, except you'd probably have to, it's going to be much harder to find your gold and silver if you hit it properly, unlike cryptocurrencies, which is just waiting to be hacked by somebody, and we'll move into that in a little bit. Next, I'd like to talk about Bitcoin, and these are all questions I've had, and all these links are things that I have found on the internet. Bitcoin is not regulated really per se. That's why you get the whales and the manipulators that are going to go into the Bitcoin market and manipulate the hell out of it, make a ton of money for themselves, and screw the little guys. That's exactly what's going to happen with whales. And partially I'll say that because even though stock markets, gold markets, all the supposedly regulated markets are regulated, and they still manipulate and they still screw the small guys. Cryptocurrencies are not regulated at all. It is the wild, wild west, except where cryptocurrencies are not legal. And you would think it'd be legal all over the world, but take a look at this little map. Outright banned, where you see red, Bolivia, Ecuador, Algeria. A lot of countries have just outright banned it. China, it being the biggest. China, think about this. China has made Bitcoins illegal. Well, it's only a matter of time before you're going to see not just, you're going to see a different color here. Let's just say blue for regulated. And pretty soon, all these countries that you don't see in red and orange, hostile, on the fence, and a global leader, the United States and all these countries, they're not going to maybe go illegal on cryptos. What they're going to do is adopt it and highly regulate it. And at that point, too, what good is it? It's just another fiat that is trackable. And speaking of trackable, is Bitcoin anonymous? Well, I found this online, too, again, written on a Bitcoin type website. Not many people know this, but Bitcoin is not anonymous, but rather pseudo-anonymous, which means that you can't hide it. You can't hide it. It is. I mean, you can try to hide it, but the fact is there's the cryptos have a trackable. Every transaction that's done is tracked on the crypto coin itself. So. Can it be tracked? Absolutely. Can you hide your name from it? Well, I'm not quite sure how that works. And if you can, those are the points that I say are going to be highly regulated in the future. They're going to regulate that. You won't be able to hide your Bitcoin. It'll be highly taxed if it's still in the same form. That's my opinion. But another good article that explains that Bitcoin is not anonymous. The cryptos are not anonymous. You can try to hide yourself, but ultimately there is a chain that leads directly to you. Good article again. I recommend you read it. Is Bitcoin Anonymous? A Complete Beginner's Guide. And of course, you people that are very familiar with Bitcoin already know this. So I'm just preaching to the choir there. Here's an article that the website, it might be a little conspiratorial, but there's some really interesting points about this. And I had this thought years and years ago about crypto coin. I said, and here was my thought: 4 reasons to believe that the deep state or the NSA, and my belief that it doesn't necessarily have to be the NSA or the CIA. It could be Mossad, it could be the Chinese, it could be the North Koreans, it could be someone. But I always said that crypto coins, especially Bitcoin, what a great way to create money out of thin air to fund illicit or fund things in your agency that you don't want your government to see, and you don't want congressmen or senators or representatives, whatever country you're in, to know that you are even doing because you can't ask money, agencies can't ask money for something that's illegal. If they're doing something illegal, whether it's CIA, Mossad, whether it's the Russians, whether it's what is it, M5 or whoever it is, no matter who it is, if they're doing something illegal, they can't go to their government and ask money for it. They have to create money, and that's what all the drug dealing. Remember with the Reagan and the cocaine deals coming out of South America and the United States with the CIA. They'll never admit it, but we all know it happened, and they kind of somewhat winked an eye that it did happen. So they have to get their money from somewhere, and it can't be legal means. And I always thought, what a great way to do it by creating crypto coin. Anyway, let's take a look at some points that this guy made in this site right here. They did create part of it for sure. Now, this gentleman says that SHA-256 is a secure hashing algorithm which is an essential part of Bitcoin's architecture. It is a NSA hash function algorithm first published in 2001. This guy directly links hashtag algorithms directly to the NSA. But again, it could be any country, I think, agencies or a deep state that could be doing this. And he talks about how Bitcoin protocol works. There's a good video here that says how Bitcoin protocol works that talks about how the NSA probably created this or how it is derived from NSA technologies. Let's move along to the second one. I thought this was kind of interesting and surprising. I have not fact-checked it on Wikipedia myself, but they claim Satoshi Nakamoto means Central Intelligence. And look, it kind of does. I mean, it's funny, but and maybe not funny. I don't know. But look, Satoshi, according to Wikipedia, means intelligent. And there's a couple other meanings here. I mean, is it coincidence? I don't know. It is funny, though. And then when they go to Nakamoto family history, type in Nakamoto, where is the Nakamoto family from? And it says here that the Nakamoto family means in Japanese, Nakamoto family means central origin or one who lives in the middle. So the word central intelligence, I don't know, and I don't think, again, that would lead me to believe that it's definitely not the CIA, because if someone did that, that could just, that would be throwing you wouldn't put your name in it, you'd put your enemies. So maybe it is another state that has created Bitcoin to fund their illicit backdoor activities or whatever they're doing. Let's move along to how cryptocurrency benefits the deep state. And this is what I talked about, my original thought. The deep state would want cryptocurrency to exist. As Bitcoin critics like to say, it's something perfect for organizations that have clandestine operations like the CIA is known to have. It is a way for the deep state to have a financial infrastructure outside the watchful gaze and control of institutional finance on Wall Street or any other banks on this planet. Now, while I did say it was trackable, it would be a lot less trackable in the hands of the people that created it. That's for sure. And this person makes a point that the deep state would have loved to have cryptocurrency back during the Iran-Contra affair with Oliver North, who ran a secret operation to move money from the Middle East to Nicaragua to financially support Contra rebels. So that was drugs for guns. Remember that deal? Well, if they had cryptocurrency, I'm sure that would have been a much easier way, a lot more funds there to fund their activities. And the other point number 4. Department of Justice cybercrime prosecutor explains how Bitcoin helps the FBI catch criminals. Now, if you're a government or a central intelligence agency and you created this money and you have the power to create this online technology and you have the algorithms, you have the encryption, you can break the encryption, you have supercomputers. Most of these organizations have supercomputers. They can break encryption just like that. So do you think it's hard for them to track this down? So why wouldn't they encourage bad people, enemies of the state, terrorists? Why wouldn't they encourage drug dealers to use this technology, since they have the ability to track it easier than anyone on earth with the computing power that they own? Now, again, that's my opinion. And he goes into how Bitcoin helps the FBI catch criminals. The other article we were just talking about, where the gentleman was saying that it's not anonymous, that it can be tracked. There is a chain that can be tracked. Is absolutely correct, and that's what they do when they go after bad people now. They just track that chain. So I think a lot less criminals and terrorists and people are using Bitcoin unless they're finding ways to do it anonymously. Again, which may exist on, you may be able to do business or buy cryptos anonymously. That I don't know. And if you still can, it's only a matter of time before they regulate that. And once they regulate that, then you can pretty much figure that they're not going to use it for funding covert operations anymore. Where are we here? Is Bitcoin anonymous? Let me move on to the next thing. I thought that was kind of cool, though. Number 4, that was 4 points. Oh, hold on. Was it point number 5? Nope. Anyway, I thought there were some really good points made on this. You can read this yourself. Just type in 4 reasons to believe that the deep state created Bitcoin. It'll pop up at the top of the page. Let me know what you think of the article. I think there's some valid points to be made there. Let's compare the history of gold versus crypto coin. The history of gold, 4,000 BC, was used as jewelry. And as we know, jewelry is kind of money, guys. You know that when you give your wife a nice diamond necklace. You're purchasing a nice dinner and making sure something, the relationship is cool. You know what I mean? But anyway, it is like money. And it's always been money. It still is today. So if you take a look at this chart, and I think it goes beyond 4,000. I've heard that gold has been around as a form of money in exchange for 5,000 years. But let's just say 4,000 on this chart. And where did Bitcoin start? Well, here after 2000, right about here somewhere. Anyways, let's look at this chart. Jewelry, first use as money, officially as money, I guess, would be, about 900 BC or something. No. Yeah, about 1,000 BC, 1,500 BC or so. It looks like right in the middle there. And use as money, but it really is money. It always has been, even before they knew what the term money meant back then. It was money. It was a form of exchange. It was rare. It still is rare. And then it is today as well. I mean, that's why central banks own it. Don't be fooled. When they say it's an old relic, why do central banks in countries own gold? Why do the elite, the super wealthy, own gold? Don't be fooled. They own it because it is money and it is a secure form of wealth. That's why they own it. Again, I digress. I'm talking about cryptocurrencies. Let's take a look at the history of cryptocurrencies. We know cryptocurrency started around probably, 2009, maybe a little bit earlier where it was thought about. But look at the history of cryptocurrencies. Barter. I mean, this is the stuff you wanted a cow, you wanted meat, you wanted food, so how would you buy it? Well, you had to barter with your neighbors. Then came along gold. You could take a chunk of gold or a little piece of gold you found on the ground. You could barter. Now you could buy the cow. You could buy the meat. You could buy the food. You could buy the farm. Then came metal coins, gold and silver, which was used as money for what we saw on that chart right before us. Let's go back. Let's just say from 1500 BC is where metal coin starts. It is not until later, actually the Romans started creating fiat currency when they took their gold coins and their silver coins, or they actually took their silver coins, made them in copper and put a silver wash over top of them. That was the first fiat currency. And you know what happened to the Roman Empire? They went downhill from there after they left the gold and silver as money. And of course, we have been in the paper money fiat age in the United States since really kind of 1913, but Nixon took us off the gold standard in 1972. So officially, since 1972, we've been on the fiat currency. And what is fiat? Fiat is backed by nothing tangible. What is tangible? Gold is tangible. Metal coins are tangible. Paper money is not. I guess cows could be tangible. But anyways, we went from tangible over here to non-tangible, fiat. So paper money is basically, credit cards are just paper money, ones and zeros. That's early cryptocurrency right there. Online, ones and zeros. You need electricity. You need computers to make this transaction happen. Before we only had this. Now we have this because of electricity and computers. Now we have electronic money, transfers, that kind of thing, and we got cryptocurrency. But remember, it's all fiat. It's backed by none of these. None of these. There's no backing whatsoever by any of these. Crypto is just like paper money. It is a fiat. Except unregulated as of yet, and in its infancy, in my opinion. However, as a fiat currency, I think crypto will definitely replace paper money to some degree, although I still hope we have a way to exchange in case someone doesn't have access to electricity or power. They still have a way to buy something, because I think that would really suck if you could only buy stuff if you had power and internet. That would really suck, trust me. You still need to have some form of hard money that or currency, at least fiat currency, that trades place with people. But meanwhile, I do think crypto is the future. I think it'll be highly regulated. I think that the banks will get involved, and because banks hate competition, and they pay the politicians, they make the rules, and governments hate competition, and they make the rules. So banks and governments hate competition. Therefore, cryptocurrency will not go for very long in its infancy here, unregulated or banned. And in my opinion, most countries will just ban the privately made cryptos, or they'll excuse me, or they'll adopt it, or they will simply just create their own and make everything else illegal. Anyways, let me move along here, and that's kind of interesting. What is the difference between gold and cryptos as well? Well, here's one of the most beautiful things. Gold is made by colliding stars. I mean, super explosions in space. That is how all the gold on Earth was created. Here's kind of like a picture of what that might look like. I'm sure that's not an actual picture, but this is what it takes to create gold. And how often does this happen in our lifetimes? Have we ever even actually physically seen it happen? No, we haven't. That's how rare gold is. It's only created in instances like this. Extremely rare, even universally. And how is Bitcoin? This is unfair. I'm sorry. I just took a cheap shot at Bitcoin, people. But really, listen, I believe in Bitcoin as a medium of exchange that will surpass paper money one day, although we hope we don't get rid of paper money. But I don't believe it's going to go unregulated. I don't believe it's going to be an investment. And I don't believe it's anything. It's not money. It's fiat. It's fiat, fiat, fiat. And as I said, gold is made by stars. Who knows who made Bitcoin? We still don't know. For all we know, it could be the CIA. But you know my opinion on this. I just spent a long time explaining it. But as I said, the big difference is here, folks, it's apples and oranges. They're two different things. Gold is, let's just pick gold as the orange here. Gold is money. It's been around for 5,000 years as money. It is exchange. You can hold it in your hands, physically hold it in your hands. You can't, you can't have a local lab make it for you. The CIA can't make it. The NSA can't make it. Only the universe, or if you're religious, God himself can make it. No one else. That's it, period. And as long as you have it in your hands, you are secure. Unlike, in my opinion, fiat currency, which can be devalued, made worthless, has nothing backing it. Remember, tangible has no cows backing it, no gold coins, and no gold bars backing it. It's just backed by zeros and ones. But it is a great form of exchange, and we are living in a world of fiat. I mean, face it, we are. I don't think we're going to go back on that. I think we're going to continue to use fiat currency. So yeah, I absolutely see a future in Bitcoin. Just regulated, but it's the future, in my opinion. And again, apples and oranges. Gold is money. Bitcoin and cryptos are fiat, period. And if you want to try to argue with me in comments below, I'd be happy to debate this civilly. However, I don't think that fact is debatable. Again, one's made by stars, and the fact is, crypto requires this, which to me is very dangerous. If your money requires electricity and the internet that is controlled by man, you're screwed. I think if you really think that's money and you think that's a great investment, I think you're screwed. But a little caveat here. For those of you who made lots of money in Bitcoin, I applaud that 100%. You've seen it coming. You made the right moves. You made the money deservingly. And if you're continuing to make money on Bitcoin, great, man, that's great. I view Bitcoin right now, the way it goes up and down, kind of like I view the stock market going up and down. If you had the foresight to see it, you had the money in there, you can get in and out, great. But if you're like all the small guys that get crushed by the whales, especially in the unregulated market like crypto, listen, what are you going to do? Well, my opinion is keep buying gold because you can hold it in your hands. It's physical. It doesn't require electricity. Doesn't require the internet. And it's been around for 5,000 years. So it has a great track record on top of it. History counts, history means something. Anyways, as far as a peer-to-peer goes, again, the beauty of crypto, and I think the future of crypto is that peer-to-peer will be like cash from one person to another once they figure out an easy way to do it where it's not as easy to steal or hack like it is right now. But at one time, this is exactly what crypto is. It's a peer-to-peer network where you could pay anyone directly without using a middleman. But gold is like that too. You can do the same thing with gold. And even on a more personal basis, when you want to say peer-to-peer, the true peer-to-peer is a face-to-face transaction where you actually shake someone's hand and you hand them a tangible, real product like a piece of gold or a gold coin or a cow. So that is a true peer-to-peer transaction. The internet is kind of like a 0 and 1 transaction, like a ghost. And then it arrives over there and you have it. But remember, it's a fiat still. I think that I'll be using cryptocurrencies down the road. I'm not going to invest in them because I don't know enough about them, and I feel that it's an unregulated market. I don't know enough, and I'd probably get crushed buying it. That's my opinion. I do know a lot about gold, and I've made a lot of money with gold, and I've helped make other people make a lot of money with gold. And again, I like the track record. It's been around for 5,000 years, so I feel safe with it, and so should you. But regardless, as I've been saying, they are apples and oranges. There really shouldn't be a crypto versus gold argument. There is no argument there. It's completely different things. Gold is money, crypto is not. Crypto is an exchange of fiat. There should be no argument between the two. In fact, we should be great friends. Crypto and gold should be great friends with each other because crypto provides an opportunity to exchange those fiat currencies for gold. And what a great way to do it on a peer-to-peer level as well. So I do see a future for it. That's my opinion. And again, apples and oranges. And the true thing is, between gold people and crypto people, the truth is, it is apples and oranges. And why can't we all just get along? Because we probably should, and it would benefit all of us to do that. Anyway, this is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals. Happy Thanksgiving. I appreciate you listening to this Thanksgiving Day report. And I'll be back on, I'll give a small Precious Metals report tomorrow, Friday, and then I'll be back to my regular reports on Monday. Again, if you like my reports here, please hit the like button, subscribe button, that little bell up there. I appreciate it, and it shows me that you're watching, and I'll continue to do these. Meanwhile, call me anytime during our regular hours between 10 and 4, Mondays through Fridays, except tomorrow and today. And we're happy to answer any questions you have. Again, 954-493-8811. Happy to answer any of your questions on precious metals. And if you come in the store, maybe we'll even have a little debate or have a civil discussion on crypto coins. As I said, got any questions, got any feedback, got anything you think I said was wrong, please make comments below. Love to have a civil discussion with you about it. I'm really dying to learn more about cryptocurrencies. Again, thanks for watching. Have yourself a great day, and talk to you soon.